Hi there, it's Bethany from BethanyIllustrates.com. Here today I have my beautiful painting of Landscape Bridge in Vancouver. It is a painting made with acrylic on a masonite hardboard, 22 by 28, and it looks quite done, doesn't it? But today I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next on it. Also, here I have a beautiful picture of the graphite sketch I did beforehand, which is, wow, quite a nice sketch, I thought. Enjoyed the beautiful bird in the sky and the design of the landscape, and I thought that it would make a really beautiful painting. So that's from the sketch, and here's what I brought the painting to. Let's see what happens next. I'll talk to you a little bit about the supplies I have for my painting. This is my lovely bucket of water. That's the trick. Enough water to really rinse it out most of the painting, and then this is my lovely Bob Ross it's a paintbrush cleaner. These are some of the paintbrushes I use. Nice filberts, usually a larger one, a really tiny one. This is a number 0 Princeton round, the filbert number 8, actually I think it's a number 2, and then this is a number 12 Princeton filbert, mostly synthetic hair. One of the larger brushes that I use a lot is this one. It's like 40 bucks or something, and it's a Princeton flat brush. So I like to paint huge on things, and that's one of them. The other things I have here are my butcher tray. This is a lovely, nice little butcher tray. Sometimes I use it to as a palette, but today I just used it to store my paints on. Sometimes these tubes of paint go all over the place. Where did the white go? I don't know. So these are the Winsor & Newton professional paints I use generally. Once in a while I pull out some Liquitex. Depends on the shade. Today I'm using ultramarine blue, burnt umber, titanium white, and I think I'm using a little bit of the yellow ochre, yeah. It's a nice yellow ochre in the Winsor & Newton. And you see in the background a little bit of the sap green, which I haven't used very much of, but Vancouver area, there's so much beautiful moss and green trees. This is the color to use. What other supplies do I have? Let's see here. My palette. This is just a clipboard, but it has a nice thing to hang on to. And I like to use these Stay Wet Painter's Pal acrylic paper. For acrylic painting, I can just hold it in my hand and use a new one every time. And that's about it for the supplies I use. Let's see what happens next. The things I learned in my graduate degree in illustration and fine art painting was something called well, when you use a color it's a midnight wash, but this is something that I heard that Robert Bateman uses. I heard there was a rumor that Robert Bateman uses milk. I'm using just a titanium white wash down. People like to use a medium. I just use water. I think it suffices. Depends on the paint, depends on the acrylic, but I'm going to do a wash over the canvas. You'd think, oh no, is she ruining it? I brought it this far, I can bring it further. I can always start again if I don't like what I did. I'm confident that this will be a nice thing to do to the canvas. It helps. Vancouver especially, and anywhere on the west coast of North America, has quite a atmospheric quality to it. Where I'm from, in Calgary, it's very clear air. There it's got a lot of water in it. So this is just one way of emphasizing the air quality there. Doesn't it look like it's just like, whoa, you're ruining the painting? Nope, not ruined. Look, you can kind of see it through it. There comes the cloud in front of everything. Sometimes the cloud's a little thicker, sometimes it's not. With a lot of water you can really just work into the white paint I already have on the board here and on the brush. It's like any initial painter would be like, oh, why would I ever do that to my canvas? But with acrylic it's really difficult to find ways to make it look atmospheric, and this is just one of them. All that work I did on the undercoat, I know, it's gone. Where's the city? It's there behind it somewhere. I'm trying to make it as even as possible, but with cloud it's like, you never know where the cloud is, and sometimes it comes in and out. Maybe that's a statement about something else, I don't know. There it is. So as evenly as possible, really, but sometimes there's like, you have to do a hair on the canvas and you pull the hair off. There it is. I don't know what they call it, a whitewash? Something like that. You can still see the painting through it, but covered in white, covered in cloud. Way to build atmosphere. So there we are. I think that the white wash is done. And now you see on the wall here is my reference photo. And also, I have this lovely photo that I took myself. I'm painting from a photo I took myself. But it's just a photo. I also have my memory of the day I was there and what it was like to paint also. So here is my canvas like I described. So there's a titanium white, the yellow ochre, the burnt umber, the ultramarine, and the sap green. You'll notice I don't really have red on my canvas. I'm going to try and stay away from adding any red and let my brown be the warm tone. Because of the situation of the day. We'll see what happens. I was using this huge brush on the wash, but I think I'm going to use the smaller filbert. I'm going to work into the sky a little bit. It's mostly pretty white, quite a cloudy, overcast day. Doesn't have to be just white because it's clouds, so this will be interesting. Right now, I'm just adding white, maybe a little bit of blue. And some brown. Blue and brown, that's a nice kind of tone here. So right now the sky is pretty dark. Keeping in mind that these are clouds, not just white paint on my canvas, not just the surface, but reality. This is Winsor & Newton has this like quality to it that makes it really almost like oil. I love it. Over the cables on the fridge, and maybe even the fridge itself to have it more clear, but we'll see. See the beautiful skyline in the background. The harbor center. It's way back there somewhere. Prospect Point here. This side behind here is Lonsdale Quay, a beautiful part of Vancouver. Well, that's the sky here. Scumbling a lot, making it look cloudy. Like I said, it was like, because it's a murky day, this lovely darker blue has brown in it. Kind of smoggy a little bit too, Vancouver. There's the shore. So I'm kind of painting over the wash here, but there'll be spots where you see the wash coming through the painting. I'm not going to paint everywhere. I think something I was unhappy with to start with was the way the background became just really brown and came forward because it was so dark. It's dark on the photo, but that day it was knocked back a bit, so. Obvious shadow on the bridge. The water there. I thought about it when I was drawing it, about the people you see walking along the shore. As with any water edge, sometimes this becomes completely water when the tide's in. The tide's out right now, and all you see is beautiful. This is dark. When you walk along it, it is clamshells and mussels and rocks. It's quite a place to walk. Trying to watch the atmosphere and get darker blues and darker colors in the foreground here. It brings it to Well, this is just large brush strokes. I'll go back into some sections of detail with a smaller brush later. But do I want to describe this foreground, or do I just want to let it sort of exist. There is a bit of green because of the way the algae hits the rocks, the lichen. I don't want too much. I don't need to, because the focus is so much on the bridge. In a photograph, these foreground rocks are very visible. They're like, wow, that's a beautiful rock. I don't want to describe them too much because it will take the focus. Just a little. Describe it a little, make it look like a rock, but it is pretty much where I wanted the painting to come to today. You saw me do the wonderful whitewashing of the whole entire board. You also saw how I worked back into the water and the foreground and kind of made it all more misty, wonderful day. The only thing I did that you haven't seen that I was working on is, here's the palette that I was using. You recognize the white and the yellow ochre, the burnt umber, the ultramarine, the sap green. But what else did I add? I added phthalo. It's a phthalo green because the color of the landscape bridge is so distinctive. It can be a really strong green, but I mixed it with some brown and knocked it back into the horizon a little bit. And I think it just really looked natural and beautiful. So I might work into the water a little bit more in the skyline, but most of that detail is done. So thanks for watching.